What's up, everyone? Welcome to the same Philly Sports History for July 27th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Great win for the Phils again, 6-4. Jake Cave looked great, both in the field and at the plate. The team went down 3-0, battled back once again, and just kind of emphatically said, no, we're winning this series. They have a much earned day off before going out to Pittsburgh for 3 this weekend. They currently are in the wild card if the season ends today. Obviously, there's still a lot of time left, but just a great win. Ranger gave up the 3-run homer early, battled, finally pitched well after that. I shouldn't say finally pitched well. Things are starting to come together at the right time. The trade deadline is out there looming, so anxious to see what they do. But overall, great series against a great team. Phil's, they won 2 out of 3 from Baltimore, who had the best record in the league coming in. We'll take it. Enjoy your day off, boys, and let's go sweep the Pirates. Before we move on, I wanted to say, too, and the new thing, and it started with like Jimmy Rollins and those guys, but everybody has like a different walk-up song depending on which at-bat they're coming up to. I kind of miss the old days when Pat Burrell would come up to Dirty Laundry and Chase Utley would come up to Cashmere, and you just knew, and you could hear it when you're listening on the radio or on TV or at the game. Finally, I think they have somebody who is a good player and actually has a very catchy walk-up song, and that's Bryson Stott when he comes up with A-OK. And like, just when I've listened to more games recently on the radio between picking the kids up from camp, going to the pool, different things like that. And you can even hear it on TV, but it just gets stuck in your head. The other day, like I'm in a meeting at work and I find myself humming, A-O, A-OK. If you don't know the song, look it up. It's A-OK. But kudos to Bryson Stott for keeping the same song throughout the whole year for every at-bat. All right, as the Harden turns, excuse me, I told you this is better than a reality show. Now Tracy McGrady is entering the fray. Basically ripped Harden for wanting out of Philly, basically his 4th team in how many ever years, 3 years, 4 years. He's like, look, man, he's played with a lot of Hall of Famers and has no rings to show for it. So now you want to leave the MVP of the league. You need something along the lines of you need to take a look inward or get over that shit or something. But just interesting that now other people are coming into it. But no real updates on movement or rumors. I know the Suns now, he's being linked to the Suns, like a big 4-team trade that might bring DeAndre Ayton to the Sixers. I don't know. It's just a lot of rumors right now and a lot of speculation. Does not look like it's going to happen for the Clippers, so we will just wait and see. Day 1, Eagles training camp update. Nobody got hurt, which is good. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith apparently both looked really, really good. But the big story was it came out that Jalen Hurts turned down being on Peyton Manning's quarterback documentary on Netflix. He just didn't feel it was the time, this, that, and the other. And I personally, I love it. And I mentioned it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I think if you're going to have somebody who's going to break whatever the Super Bowl hangover for the team that loses is, I'm putting my money on Jalen Hurts to do it. And this is just shows his mindset. He's not concerned with this. He's like, the story's not done, whatever. And he just says the right things and has the focus. So I personally, I mean, as great as it would be to get a peek inside what his prep and everything like that is, I love that he turned it down. So kudos for him. They move on to day 2, and we're just one more step closer to football. Union looks like they're going to move on to the group stage in the Leagues Cup. They beat Querétaro 5-1 last night. Now they wait for Querétaro and Tijuana to play each other. But the Union will be moving on to the group stage. And another story I wanted to mention that may or may not have effects on Philly sports, but Colorado is moving back to the Big 12. And that's a big domino sort of to fall. And all along, I think eventually you're going to see 4 super conferences be the big draw for college football. Depends on how many teams they go, 16 or 20, but I think that's ultimately what you're going to see, setting itself up for a 16-team tournament where the top 4 from each make it, or something along those lines. I don't know the details, but it's just seeming more and more like that. But I haven't just read about it yesterday, so I haven't really had a chance to really see what other rumors are, but it could have an impact on Temple, especially since they want to focus so much on football, and they're going to have to kind of posture and move their way. And I don't know if it will have an impact. It could be wishful thinking on my part, but just something I wanted to mention for us to keep our eye on as the next dominoes start to fall with college football realignment. All right, before we move on to today's episode, or this day, check out the new Back to the Future. It is posted on wherever you get your podcasts as well as YouTube. Had a little fun with the over and underrated things in Philly sports, so be sure to check that out. Went a little long. Probably will spark a reaction or two out of you, but go check it out wherever you get your podcast. That's Back to the Future with a PH. All right, on this day in 2008, and before we go to this day, let's go back a step. And prior to June 18th, 2007, Philly sports, we were suffering from the curse of Billy Penn. Basically, long story short, there was a gentleman's agreement never to put a building above William Penn's hat on City Hall. They built one Liberty Place and then two Liberty Place, and ever since then, Philly sports went in the tank. Even the racehorses couldn't do anything. But then they built the Comcast Center. One of the guys that did it put William Penn statue on top. All of a sudden, the Phils win the NL East in 2007. And then on this day, July 27th, 2008, the Philadelphia Soul played in and won Arena Bowl XXII, 59-56 over the San Jose SaberCats. It was the first pro sports title in Philadelphia since 1983, unless you count the Philadelphia Wings lacrosse, but the NLL was kind of wonky. It was this league, that league. So technically they were a pro sports championship, but for the most part, Philadelphia Soul opened the floodgate, so to speak, because then after that, the Phils went on and won 3 months later. They won the World Series. But the Soul back then were owned by Bon Jovi, who was the majority owner. Ron Jaworski was involved as a minority owner, and it was their first of 3 Arena Bowl championships. But on this day, back in 2008, the Philadelphia Soul won the Arena Bowl, opening the floodgates, I guess you could say, because then the Phillies would win a championship 3 months later. You know who else is a champion? Philly Goat. Go check out Philly Goat for all your Philadelphia sports apparel needs, whether it is the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Union, you name it, they have it. Any size, any color. Back to school shopping is coming up. I talked to you the other day about I need to get some new Eagles gear. So go check out Philly Goat. They have all of that covered. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. PhillyGoat.com. Make sure it has the goat on the sleeve. Okay, time for the Philly Sports Most Lovable Loser update. And in the Flyers Regional, the champion has been crowned. It is the 96-97 Flyers. Won a close one against the 86-87 Flyers, winning with 55% of the vote. They will move on to play the winner of the Eagles Regional, the 2022 Eagles, later this week. So stay tuned for that. Today, it's time to crown the Phillies Regional Champion, and this one's going to be a doozy. You have both of them are World Series runners-ups. You have the number 1 seed 2009 Phillies taking on the number 6 seed 2022 Phillies. First, the 2009 Phillies beat the 64 team and the 83 team to get here. They went 93-69. Won their third straight NL East championship by 6 games. That was the year they brought in Raul Ibanez, traded for Cliff Lee, Signed Pedro, kind of rolled through the playoffs, and then got unlucky against the Yankees in the World Series. I still say that stupid camera hanging out in right field when A-Rod hit that really cost them a lot, but nothing you can do about it now. They're taking on last year's Phillies team, and we know how that played out. They snuck into the wild card after firing Joe Girardi, bringing in Rob Thompson. They made that trade for Brandon Marsh, who paid dividends in the playoffs, and even this year now is paying dividends, but we're focusing just on last year. And they got hot at the right time in the playoffs, and in the World Series, they were inconsistent. I mean, it's crazy to think that they had 7 home runs in Game 3 and then were no hit in Game 4. It just is bizarre and baffling to me, but it is what it is. And speaking of songs, they captivated the region with Dancing on My Own throughout that playoff run. Another song now that's probably going to be stuck in your head. If it's not that, it's going to be A-OK. Bryson Stott's walk-up song. But I played this out on What If Sports, and this was a very surprisingly evenly matched. I thought the 09 team was just going to kind of walk away with it, but after 10 games, it was tied, so we played a tiebreaker game, and even the tiebreaker game was intriguing. The 2022 team was up 4-0. The 09 team chipped away, sent it into extra innings, and in the top of the 13th, Nick Castellanos hit a 2-run shot to win it for the 2022 Phillies. Now it's your turn. Make sure to get that vote in. Is it the 09 Phils, who was very disappointing for me? They were a very good team. I think they should have probably won the World Series that year. Or is it last year's team, who equally disappointed in a different way, who truthfully probably should have won the World Series last year too? Let me know. Leave a comment wherever you can. Or if it's on YouTube, if it's wherever you get your podcast. Just get the vote to me. The votes have been going up. It's been crazy. It's been a very exciting regional final round thus far. So let me know who wins the Phillies Regional, the 2009 Phils or the 2022 Phils. And if you want more Phillies coverage, I'm excited to announce, I've been telling you about 2008 Phils. They have the world's largest email Phillies newsletter in the and they've been giving away the 75% off a subscription. Follow the description or the link in the description for your exclusive, the exclusive link for This Day in Philly Sports History listeners. But again, I told you get access to their full site, their archives, the discussion boards. You get that awesome 2008 championship banner t-shirt. 2008 Phils will follow your Twitter account, access to giveaways, tickets, autographs, everything, and it's just $2 a month or $20 a year. But if you're still on the fence, they've given me 3 1-month free subscriptions for you guys to try it out. So what I'm going to do is anybody who leaves a comment, whether it's on the social medias platforms, whether it's on wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, whatever, leave a comment and like on the wherever you're getting this, and I'll pull 3 names randomly so you can try out the 2008 Phils subscription. So you get to try it out for a month for free to see if it's for you. I mean, how can you lose? I mean, literally $20 is not that bad, but comment and like wherever you're getting this, and I will randomly draw 3 people to get the 1-month free subscription to 2008 Phils. All right, on this day, back in 2008, the Philadelphia Union won Arena Bowl XXII, opening the floodgates for all the 2 championships that Philly sports have won since then. Phil's off today before going out to Pittsburgh for 3. Be sure to check out our friends at Philly Goat. Comment, like, so you can try out the 1-month free subscription to 2008 Phils. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Thursday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.